Returning to campus after Half Moon Bay felt like stepping into a different dimension. Though they'd missed the conference physically, they'd attended virtually from the BNB, their project proceeding despite the change in plans. By Monday afternoon they were back at Stanford, having caught a ride with one of the wedding guests who happened to be headed to Palo Alto. Devin had arranged for his car to be towed to a dealer in San Francisco once the parts arrived, complaining about both the considerable expense and the inconvenience of being without his BMW for the week. But something fundamental had shifted. The careful dance of attraction had given way to cautious acknowledgement, with both pairs navigating the transition from teammates to whatever they were becoming. That afternoon found them back in room 412, Professor Torres's deadline looming. "We need demonstration footage for the prototype," Devin reminded them. "The presentation is Friday, and we still haven't tested the interface in real-world conditions." Noah looked up from his design tablet. "I've finalized the UI. We just need to implement Nate's latest code and film the demo." Since returning from Half Moon Bay, Noah and Devin maintained a strange new dynamic, less antagonistic, more contemplative. Whatever had transpired in the lighthouse suite remained private, but the charged atmosphere between them was unmistakable. "I can shoot and edit the video," Jamie offered. "I've got equipment from my digital marketing practicum." "We should film somewhere recognizable on campus," Nate suggested. The quad would provide good background context. 2 hours later they were filming near the iconic Stanford quad, Jamie directing as Nate and Noah demonstrated Nexus's key features. Their community connection platform was designed to help students find project collaborators, share resources, and coordinate study groups based on proximity and complementary skills. "Now show how the proximity alert works," Jamie instructed, camera focused on Noah's phone. Noah activated the feature, and Devin's phone pinged from several yards away. "Perfect. Now walk toward each other and demonstrate how the interface changes as you get closer." They complied, Noah adding theatrical flair while Devin maintained professionalism. As they reached each other, Noah pretended to trip, dramatically falling against Devin, who instinctively caught him. "Sorry," Noah grinned, not looking remotely apologetic as he steadied himself with hands on Devin's chest. "Clumsy me." "That was unnecessary," Devin murmured, though he didn't immediately step away. "But cinematically compelling," Noah countered. "Cut," Jamie called, biting back a smile. "I think we've got what we need." By evening, Jamie had edited the footage into a polished demonstration video. They gathered in the apartment to review the final cut before submitting it to Professor Torres. "This looks really professional," Nate commented. "The interface animations are seamless," Noah said proudly. "Good job implementing them, Walker." "The functionality demonstration is clear and concise," Devin added approvingly. The video concluded with all four explaining how Nexus fostered community connections. They looked good together, a balanced quartet of complementary personalities and skills. "So we're good to submit?" Jamie asked, finger hovering over the upload button for their class portal. "Wait," Devin leaned forward. "What's that file name?" Jamie glanced at the screen. "Nexus demo _final actually final v4.mp4. Pretty standard naming convention for iterations. But that's not what we're uploading, right? You'll clean up the file name?" Jamie rolled his eyes good-naturedly. "Yes, Williams, I'll rename it something appropriately professional before sending it to Torres." "Then we're good to go," Devin confirmed. "Submitted," Jamie announced moments later. "Now we just need to finish the presentation deck for Friday." None of them thought twice about the video until the next morning, when Nate's phone began buzzing with notifications while he was still in the shower. By the time he emerged, towel around his waist, his screen showed 17 text messages, 5 missed calls, and a flurry of social media alerts. "Jamie?" he called, anxiety forming in his stomach. "Are you seeing these notifications?" Jamie appeared in the doorway, coffee mug in hand and an odd expression on his face. "Yeah, I think we might have a situation." "What kind of situation?" "The kind where our project video has 50,000 views on YouTube and is trending on 3 Stanford social media accounts." "What?" Nate nearly dropped his towel. "How is that possible? We only submitted it to the class portal." Jamie winced. "Well, about that. I may have accidentally uploaded the wrong version to my YouTube account instead of the class portal last night. I was pretty tired." Nate stared in disbelief. "Are you saying our class project demo is now public?" "Very public," Jamie confirmed. "And apparently people love it." "But why?" Nate scrambled to get dressed. Jamie passed him his phone. The video playing was their Nexus demonstration, but not the polished final cut they'd reviewed. This version included all the outtakes: Noah's deliberate dramatic fall into Devon's arms, Nate tripping over words when Jamie stood too close, Jamie's exaggerated director commands, and a solid 30 seconds of Noah and Devon bickering over positioning while standing nose to nose. "Oh God," Nate groaned. "This is the blooper reel you were putting together as a joke." "Yep," Jamie confirmed. "And according to the comments, we're now relationship goals and the hottest tech nerds at Stanford." Before Nate could process this horror, the apartment door burst open as Noah stormed in, Devon close behind. "We're internet famous," Noah announced, brandishing his phone. "Or at least Stanford famous. People are shipping us." "Shipping?" Devon repeated, looking pained. "As in relationship fantasizing about actual people? That's highly inappropriate." "It's the internet. Inappropriate is the default setting." Noah flopped onto the couch. "Some of the edits people have already made are actually impressive. There's a slow-motion version of you catching me set to dramatic music." Devon pinched the bridge of his nose. "This is a nightmare." "I'm so sorry." Jamie looked genuinely remorseful. "I can take it down right away." "Too late." Noah showed his screen. "It's been downloaded and reposted everywhere. Stanford Memes page has already turned Devon's face when I fell into him into their newest reaction image." "Professor Torres is going to kill us," Nate moaned. As if summoned, all their phones chimed simultaneously with an email notification. Professor Torres wanted to see them. Immediately. The walk to her office felt like a march to execution. Nate couldn't decide which was worse: the stares from students who clearly recognized them, or the occasional supportive thumbs up from complete strangers. "Did that person just yell out at us?" Devon asked, bewildered. "One true pairing," Noah translated. "They think we're meant to be together." "That's preposterous. They know nothing about us." "Welcome to internet fame." Professor Torres's expression was unreadable when they entered her office. "Interesting morning?" she asked, entirely too calmly. "Professor, I can explain," Jamie began. "I accidentally uploaded." She held up a hand, silencing him. "Mr. Rodriguez, I'm aware of what happened. What I'm more interested in is how you plan to handle it." The four exchanged confused glances. "Handle it?" Nate echoed. "Yes, Mr. Walker. Your project has received more campus attention than any student initiative in recent memory. People are talking about Nexus who would never normally engage with a class project. The question is, what are you going to do with this unexpected spotlight?" This was not the reaction they'd anticipated. "We thought you'd be upset," Noah ventured. "The video isn't exactly professionally polished." Professor Torres leaned back. "I've spent 15 years trying to convince students that tech should be accessible, relatable, and human. Your blooper reel has done more to humanize a technical project than any carefully crafted marketing campaign." "So, we're not in trouble?" Jamie clarified cautiously. "That depends on what you do next. Temporary viral fame is meaningless unless you leverage it. Your app is designed to build community connections, and suddenly the community is paying attention. This is either a fortunate accident or a strategic opportunity." Her gaze sharpened. "I expect you to make it the latter." With that cryptic instruction, they were dismissed, stumbling back into the hallway in confused relief. Did she just turn our mistake into a project requirement? Nate wondered. "I think she did," Jamie confirmed. "And honestly, it's brilliant. We've got campus-wide name recognition now. We should use it." "Absolutely not," Devon objected as they walked across campus. "The video has already created enough complications." "What complications?" Noah challenged. "That people might realize we're not just teammates?" Devon stopped abruptly. "Some of us value professional boundaries." "Professional boundaries?" "We're literally living together. Temporarily, due to circumstances beyond our control." "Is that what you're calling what happened in Half Moon Bay? A circumstance beyond your control?" Jamie cleared his throat loudly. "Maybe we should continue this somewhere less public?" Too late, Nate realized they'd attracted curious onlookers, several not so subtly recording with their phones. "Great," Devon muttered. "More content for the masses." Back in room 412, the tension remained. Devon paced near the windows while Noah aggressively sketched on the whiteboard, his markers squeaking in the silence. "We need to address this," Jamie said finally. "Both the video situation and whatever is happening between all of us." "Nothing is happening," Devon insisted, though his avoidance of eye contact suggested otherwise. Noah spun around. "Really? So I imagined everything in Half Moon Bay." That was a private conversation in a specific context. The context of you finally admitting you don't actually hate me? I never said I hated you, Devin sounded distressed. I said you frustrate me in ways I find difficult to process. Guys, Nate interrupted gently. Maybe we should focus on the project first? Professor Torres expects us to leverage this attention. Jamie nodded, relieved at the redirection. Nate's right. We've accidentally created interest in Nexus. We should use that momentum. A legitimate beta test, Devin latched onto the practical suggestion. We could invite sign-ups from people who've seen the video. See? You have good ideas when you're not being emotionally constipated, Noah remarked, but the heat had gone from his voice. Slowly, they refocused on transforming their accidental viral moment into meaningful engagement for their project. As they worked, the personal tension simmered below the surface, occasionally bubbling up in loaded glances or lingering touches. By late afternoon they had a plan, a campus-wide beta launch event leveraging their newfound recognition. Jamie drafted social media posts that leaned into their accidental fame with good humor, Devin created a structured rollout schedule, Noah redesigned the app icon, and Nate worked on server capacity for the anticipated influx of users. When Noah got up to fetch water, Devin watched him alertly as if making sure he was actually awake and not sleepwalking again. Food break, Jamie announced around 7. I'll make a run to that Thai place everyone likes. I'll come with you, Nate offered, seeking a moment away from the charged atmosphere between Noah and Devin. The night air felt refreshing as they walked. Jamie stayed close beside Nate, their hands occasionally brushing in a way that now felt deliberate. So, Jamie said as they waited for their takeout. Think Noah and Devin will have resolved anything by the time we get back? Either resolved everything or burned the innovation hub to the ground, Nate smiled wryly. No middle ground with those two. Jamie laughed then grew more serious. What about us? Are we resolved? The question hung between them, weighted with Half Moon Bay and the subsequent chaos. I think we're getting there, Nate said carefully. Though I wasn't planning on our relationship status becoming campus entertainment. Is that what we have? A relationship status? Nate felt heat rise to his face. I mean, after Half Moon Bay I assumed, but if you'd rather not define. Jamie silenced him with a quick kiss right in the middle of the Thai restaurant's waiting area. I'm teasing you, Walker. I've been wanting to define this since the hackathon blackout. That long? Nate blinked in surprise. You're adorably oblivious sometimes, Jamie smiled. But yes, that long. Though sharing a bed for 2 weeks definitely accelerated things. Their food arrived, temporarily pausing the conversation. As they headed back to campus, Nate wondered how their newly acknowledged relationships would weather the unexpected public scrutiny. People will lose interest in the video soon enough, Jamie said, seemingly reading his thoughts. Internet fame has the attention span of a goldfish. I hope so. Devin seems genuinely uncomfortable with the attention. Devin needs to figure out what he wants more, his carefully maintained public image or Noah. When they returned to room 412, they found their teammates sitting side by side at the work table, shoulders touching as they reviewed something on Devin's tablet. The atmosphere had noticeably shifted, still charged, but with anticipation rather than conflict. Food's here, Jamie announced. And potentially a ceasefire? We've reached an understanding, Devin said, straightening his already impeccable posture. Care to elaborate? Jamie raised an eyebrow as he distributed the food containers. Noah grinned. Williams has agreed to stop pretending he doesn't find me irresistible, and I've agreed to respect his boundaries regarding public displays of affection. I said no such thing about irresistible, Devin protested, though his ears had turned suspiciously pink. I merely acknowledged that our interpersonal dynamic has evolved beyond a strictly professional capacity. See? Romance isn't dead, Noah translated, stealing a spring roll from Devin's container with practiced ease. As they ate, conversation turned back to their beta launch strategy. The viral video had created an unexpected opportunity, and despite the personal complications, they were determined to make the most of it. I've been thinking, Nate said. The video resonated because it showed us as real people, not just tech developers. Maybe that should be part of our launch strategy. Jamie nodded enthusiastically. People respond to authenticity. We should lean into the human element. You're suggesting we intentionally present ourselves as, what, exactly? Devin asked cautiously. As a team that actually likes each other, Nate clarified. Not necessarily focusing on the personal relationships, but not hiding that we're more than random students thrown together. Noah considered this. So a controlled reveal rather than trying to stuff everything back in the closet? Something like that, Nate agreed. Professional but genuine. To his surprise, Devin slowly nodded. There's strategic merit to that approach. Transparency tends to defuse speculation. Plus, Jamie added, it makes for a much better origin story when we actually launch this for real. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Devin cautioned. We still need to pass Professor Torres's class. Please, Noah scoffed. After we turned an accidental viral video into a successful beta launch? She's going to beg us to continue development. As they continued planning, their personal and professional lives increasingly intertwined. Nate realized that their viral mistake had forced a kind of clarity. The spotlight hadn't created new feelings, merely illuminated what was already developing in the shadows. By midnight, they had a comprehensive launch strategy that embraced their unexpected notoriety while redirecting it toward their actual innovation. The Nexus beta would launch immediately after their class presentation, leveraging the campus interest their video had generated. When they finally returned to the apartment, the sleeping arrangements were no longer a source of awkward negotiation. Jamie and Nate retired to their room, while Noah and Devin disappeared into theirs with only minimal bickering about optimal sleep temperature. Think this will all blow over soon? Nate asked as they settled into bed. The video attention? Probably. But us? The four of us. Jamie smiled in the darkness. I think we're just getting started. In the quiet apartment, four accidental internet sensations dreamed of connections, both the kind their app would facilitate and the more personal ones they'd found when they least expected it.